From Careco TV, one of the longest-running outdoor programs on television today. Exploring the country and the coast in search of adventure. From the mountains of the Great Northwest to the shores of the Atlantic Ocean, this is Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin. This week on Americana Outdoors, Wade Middleton is at Medina Lake, Texas, to find out how the lake stands after extreme drought conditions that lasted up till June of 2015. But first, we're heading to Kentucky Lake, Tennessee for the 2017 Cabela's Collegiate Big Bass Bash, presented by Berkeley.
I think it's going to be a really fun tournament because with the multiple sessions, all the prizes, and it's just kind of laid back, having a good time pretty much.
A regular just 5 fish all day tournament, you're just grinding all day trying to get 5 bites, you know. But this one, it's like, well, if you don't, you have 8 chances to win.
Oh, it's a blast. It definitely gives us an opportunity to get out and just get back to the kind of roots of why we all enjoy the sport. We get to go out and you're not necessarily patterning fish and worried about this big competitive tournament as much as you are just finding that one big one, and it's exciting because anybody out here can do it.
We've got a record field on hand this year. There's an unprecedented 519 collegiate anglers, 84 collegiate campuses represented, and they're all hoping to cash in on the $30,000 total purse. And for those in the hunt for Cabela's School of the Year, this event is worth double points.
Yeah, they can change in a blink of an eye, especially with a tournament like this where double points and all that. I mean, you can see someone shoot up from that was never even really in the top 20. It's just a huge game changer.
This is by far the most points available tournament, and I think basically catching 2 fish, 5.5 plus, will put us probably in first.
Conditions on Kentucky Lake this week have been favorable, with water and air temps in the 60s and the bass beginning to push shallow. But things are about to change. A big front is due to push through, and due to the potential extreme conditions, tournament officials have made the difficult decision to cancel day 2 of this event. Weather reports called for winter conditions to arrive late in the day, but the snow began to fall just before sunrise, and when it was done, there was more than 4 inches blanketing the hills of Henry County.
I fished in sleet, I fished in rain. I mean, I've even fished in flurries before, but this stuff's actually, I mean, look at this. Built up all on the console.
I'm Cole Burdishaw.
I'm Cameron Mercer.
Auburn University. Oh my God, that's cold. Spring break. This is the start of Auburn spring break right here. Hey, we're going across the scales. About a 3-pounder. I'm not sure if it'll get a top 10 hourly, but it's a bass. They'll bite in the snow.
Caught a good fish. We were just coming down through here, kind of beating the bank, and got to a good point and settled down and took some time working a little bit and pulling a trap across it and stuck into a pretty good one. Probably around 8 pounds, so we'll see how it does at the scales a little later.
And while some anglers were battling it out in the blinding snow, others were back on shore, keeping warm and waiting for better conditions. Let's take a look at where we stand on the leaderboards. Gavin Bridges, fishing for UT at Chattanooga, picked up the first win of the day.
He's thinking 4.5. How about 5:27? New leader, 5:27.
Thomas Soleil took second with one pushing the scales to 5:32. But it was Spencer Guthrie from Kennesaw State stepping up and winning session number 2.
Yes, sir, a 5:74. Hold that fish up. You just took over the lead. That's the way to get them going. Hold that up for the camera. 5:74. Way to go.
Bethel University's Tristan McCormick was up on the stage with 6:44, but it was a little short. Tusculum's Corey Neese brought in the biggest fish of session 3.
I'm hoping 7.5 at least.
Let's do it. 7:57. Way to go. Get it out. Take a picture. In this session alone, presented by Cabela's, you have a $1,000 Cabela's gift card. Hold that up for Kevin.
Vika Center Edge, fishing for Southern Illinois University, cashed in on some great Garmin gear for winning session 4 with 656. After 4 sessions, it was Corey Neese from Tusculum College on top of the field with a bass weighing better than 7.5 pounds. You can keep up with the Cabela's Collegiate Bass Series on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, or just visit collegiatebasschampionship.com. Hey, if you're planning a trip to Kentucky Lake, then you'll want to plan your stay in Paris, Tennessee. They've got all the amenities, and they're right on the water.
Well, of course, Paris and Kentucky Lake and Paris Landing is our main tourism draw, but Paris has a lot of unique features. It's an old town full of history. We've got great shopping, unique restaurants, a lot of sights to see. And then even within a few hours drive, there's all kinds of natural resources for people to see and enjoy. If their family or friends are up here and their kids are fishing, there's plenty for them to do.
Look them up at fishkentuckylake.com.
It's in our stomping grounds and our playground. It's in our sights and our commitment. It's in him, it was in them, and it will continue with her. It's in my nature. Is it in yours?
Gill that I've used for the last 5 years has been a far superior product than anything else on the market.
The main thing that's really important to me is me being dry. I've been wearing gill suits now for 3 years and never once have I gotten wet.
Engineered to excel, the Ranger Z500 and Z100 series are built for the ultimate ownership experience. It's a commitment to excellence packed with real-world advantages and exclusive features. Experience the accelerated performance standards of the legendary Ranger Z series. From first light to last cast, they're put together to set you apart. Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here.
At Yamaha, reliability is a family tradition. Meet the next generation. 4 new advanced technology-inspired inline 4-cylinder performers. Bred from the reliability and boater satisfaction that is part of Yamaha's DNA. They prove that when power gets lighter, faster, stronger, and smarter, boating gets even better and more satisfying for boaters like you.
Let's get down to business. Quiet, you sons of fishes. Now, what?
I'm switching sonar.
Why?
Because now I can see fish swimming live in front of my boat. I even see fish attack my lure. Y'all sonar's just history. I'm out.
I'm with him.
Oh, nice shot.
You put the cool in life. We put the cool in coolers. Arctic ice. Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin, is brought to you by Garmin. Fight your fish, not your fish finder. Cabela's. It's in your nature. Ranger Boats. Still building legends one at a time. And by Yamaha Marine. Reliability starts here. Welcome back to Americana Outdoors. We're in Paris, Tennessee, Kentucky Lake for the 2017 Cabela's Collegiate Big Bass Bash, presented by Berkeley. The week started off clear and sunny, but on tournament morning, anglers launched onto Kentucky Lake amidst high winds, freezing temps, and a heavy snow. Now, despite the tough conditions, Kentucky Lake lived up to its reputation as one of the best big bass fisheries in the country, allowing anglers to cash in on some big prizes in the hourly weigh sessions.
We're actually going to trailer. We're going to go put in way south. We're not going to try to make the every way in and get as much prize as we can. We're going to, all three of us are going to be in productive water, see if we can, one of us three catch a winning fish and come in the last hour.
Yeah, so you probably saw all the snow. Miserable wet morning. In fact, we pulled the boat out of the water and trailered it and put back in, and then it cleared up and got relatively nice. The wind calmed down so we could fish some of our main lake spots. He hit that as I pulled it off that rock.
That's what that big one did.
Let's head back to Paris Landing weigh-in sessions. The team from UT Knoxville kept the ball rolling as Scott Ellis stepped up and won Session 5 with this Kentucky Lake monster. That fish not only won the session, it also put Scott in the overall lead for big bass, and it could be worth several $1,000s in free gear. Bethel University's Cody Huff brought up to the scale a 685 and won Session 6. And this is Bethel University's Evan Owery. With one more session to go, Evan jumps to the top of the overall standings. And now it's time for the final session.
We are going to start this off with a KJ.
The team from Bethel University has made quite the showing this year, with 18 fish in the money, including 2 session wins. Here, KJ Queen locked up fourth with one going 6'11". Bethel's Tyler Black was up next, and he slid into third with a 6'49". Murray State University's Ryan Lancaster shared third with his catch weighing 6'49". Kyle Sweet fishing for Illinois State. He only weighed one fish today, but it was a good one, sealing up second with a 6'58".
Way to go, 6'58".
And on top of the leaderboard at the end of Session 8 was Nathan Bell from Bryan College.
6'81", new leader for this session.
It's been a good week for these young anglers. They've picked up some valuable experience under some very challenging conditions.
I'm going to tell you right now, what I like the most about it is we get to fish big time tournaments, stressful tournaments with low cost. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's number one.
We have so much experience available to us at low cost.
There's a lot of business parts of it too, negotiating with different sponsors and trying to help everyone out while helping the team out as a whole.
The best part about college fishing is not fishing a tournament with your partner. It's the nights in the hotel. You get all your buddies in the hotel room. Stay up to 12 o'clock at night, just laughing, having fun. I mean, it's all around a great experience.
All right, we're going to start it off. Bethel University, y'all put your hands together for Evan Owery. Had a 849. He won it all.
In addition to the $1,000 Cabela's gift card he's already claimed, Evan picks up another $1,000 Cabela's card, a $2,000 voucher from Power Pole, an Angle cooler, a pair of Costa sunglasses, and a Gill rain suit, bringing his total for the day to nearly $5,000 in prizes.
No, I didn't really think it was all that big at first, but then it came up right at the boat, and I knew it was a big one. I just seen a big old head, and it dove down, strip and drag and everything. Got it up, got it in the net, hook popped right off. But it was a fun day. We caught some more big fish after that. Partner caught 6-pounder, another partner caught 5 3/4. So it was a good day.
Our final order of business on the day is a look at the Cabela's School of the Year standings. Bryan College started the event in 5th, and with the double points earned, they've made a big leap and are now sitting at the top of the standings with the University of North Alabama and Mississippi State close behind. You can keep up with the points race at collegiatebasschampionship.com. A big thanks to our hosts and friends in Paris, Tennessee. If you're headed to the region, then check out fishkentuckylake.com. Well, up next on Americana Outdoors, we'll have the update condition of Medina Lake after the extreme drought in the southern United States.
From the makers of Bubba Blade comes the Bubba Blade Fishing Pliers. No matter where you're headed to fish, this tool will become an integral part of your tackle box for many years to come. They feature our patented no-slip grip handles, just like our Bubba Blade knives, ensuring that this tool will stay firmly anchored in your hand. In addition to the handles, these pliers feature a super tough cobalt cutter and convenient split shot and leader sleeve crimping cutouts. The ultimate in control, strength, and durability. Bubba Blade.
Engel's got the original high-performance cooler and a whole lot more. Engel coolers, go with the original.
There's two things between an angler and the fish, the sun and the bugs. Sawyer's line of sunscreens and bug sprays keep you focused on the fish. Sawyer's Stay Put sunscreen formula bonds with your skin for a more comfortable and better level protection. And picaridin insect repellent will only harm the bugs, never your fishing gear. Also, Sawyer permethrin repels and kills on contact over 55 species of insects. You're already outdoors, Sawyer keeps you there.
Heavy duty, rugged, and designed for the big game hunter and angler. The Foodsaver Game Saver Titanium Vacuum Sealer has the power and performance to seal in the freshness of your game and fish for up to 3 years, 5 times longer than standard storage methods. And with its extra wide dual and repetitive sealing capabilities, that's a ton of big game savings. Tough tested and rated 4.8 out of 5 stars by outdoorsmen just like you. The Foodsaver Titanium System, it's a true game changer.
Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin, is brought to you by Sunline, the strength to guarantee your confidence. Hobie Fishing Mirage Drive pedal systems. And by Bubba Blade, the ultimate sportsman's knife. Welcome back to Americana Outdoors. Now, during the extreme 2010 to 2013 southern United States drought, Medina Lake water dropped drastically. But after heavy rains on the Medina River Basin and the lake itself in May 2016, Medina Lake is 100% full. In June of 2015, Texas Park and Wildlife started the process of restocking the lake.
We're at Medina Lake today. The lake has been really low for the last 3 or 4 years. In fact, it was down to about 2% capacity at about 600 acres or so. Recent rains brought it up a lot to, it's now about 4,500 acres and maybe 60% full. So the lake's been, for all intents and purposes, devoid of fish and fishermen for the last 3 years because of low water level. And we're here today to restock the lake, to kickstart the bass population. And we're going to introduce 100,000 Florida bass fingerlings into the newly flooded lake.
This has been an absolute great fishery. Now this particular lake, Medina Lake, was built in 1913 when the dam was built, and it was one of 4, I believe, dams throughout the country that was the largest at that time. And then we followed it up in 1943 with the largest largemouth bass ever being caught by Mr. McGee, I believe was his name, and it was a 13.5-pound bass. And since then, my brother and I have caught many, many huge fish out of this lake. So putting the fingerlings into the lake again, I don't know what the drought has done to it because it basically was kind of a mud hole for about the last 3 or 4 years. So I know that we did have some lost fish out here, but these little babies are going to get in all this new flooded cover out here and they're going to grow. So maybe in 2 or 3 years, we'll be able to catch some fish out here again.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to stock the fish by boat, and we'll get the fish loaded into our tank within the boat, and then we'll boat the fish out till we find some good cover, and we'll stock the fish directly into the cover so survival can be maximized. I mean, this lake, we use a set stocking rate, and it's by a shoreline mile, and at this lake's current elevation, it should, according to our standard criteria, receive about 84,000 fingerlings. Today we're putting in 100,000, and we hope to put another 100,000 in the next couple of weeks, so to give it a really super saturated stocking to really kickstart the population.
We have 200,000 total we're going to bring out. We're taking 20,000 at a time to different spots around the lake and putting them in real good habitat to increase their chances of survival. And since the lake has come up so much, it was just almost empty. Now it's better than half, 3/4 full, I guess. Lots of good habitat to put them in. We should have some great survival. The anglers should have some outstanding fishing in a year or two from these little guys.
This lake's always had a pretty fair bass fishery, so we expect these fish to grow really fast and be about the legal limit, 14 inches, in about a year's time, this time next summer. So, you know, they'll be plenty big enough for fishermen to catch, and I think once they start catching them, the word will spread, more people will come fishing. You know, we'll look at stocking some hybrid striped bass in this lake because historically it was a good hybrid striped bass fishery. We don't have any ready right now at our hatchery, but we will for next year and get those stocked in there, given the water level stays up. We get phone calls, you know, all the time from fishermen, you know, wanting to fish Medina Lake, and we have to tell them, you can't even get on the lake. That's been our answer for the last 3 or 4 years. But, you know, we expect this population to really take off and provide great fishing and, you know, happy anglers, which is what we're after.
Coming up, Wade goes checking on the lake 2 years after restocking. Stay tuned. Hobie Kayaks provide the ultimate lightweight fishing platforms that will offer anyone what they want when it comes time to hit the water. Hobie Kayaks' commitment to innovation, quality, and owner satisfaction is unparalleled in the industry. So when it's time for you to go kayaking, remember there's only one name to remember, and that's Hobie Kayak.
What I love about the Bradley smoker is that it cooks everything perfectly and it holds all the juices in.
So today we are going to be smoking some barbecue ribs, some venison sausage, and some dove, which is awesome.
You will never grill me doves again. I have to have them in the Bradley smoker. I would prefer to use the Bradley smoker every time I cooked. Well, that's really true because I love this thing. Okay. No lie. For more recipes, log on to bradleysmoker.com.
When I talk about Sunline, I think of one word: confidence.
Sunline FX2 is what I use for all of my frogging and flipping.
S61 braid, which braid plays a big part in fishing line.
Shooter, I'm going to use in those close quarter deals like flipping and pitching.
One of my favorite techniques in fishing the tournament trail is to fish offshore ledges.
We have taken the questions out of the equation.
Take my word for it. It works. It works, dude.
Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin, has been brought to you by Spro, Sports Professionals, Big Bite Bait, designed to bring the big bite to your line, and by Bradley Smoker, food smoking made easy. Welcome back to Americana Outdoors. Wade Middleton drives up to the lake and launches his boat into Medina Lake, which has been restocked since June of 2015.
It's always fun to come out and go fishing, you know, on a new body of water. And I say new body of water, I've fished this lake probably for 20 years, but I haven't been here in 5 years. It's just outside of San Antonio. It's Lake Medina. This is a historical lake. And some of the things to keep in mind when we talk about this lake right now is it wasn't long ago, it was at about, I don't know, 6 to 10% capacity. It was basically a stream and was dry, for lack of a better word, and it flooded and filled back up, and there's tons of vegetation down on the bottom. You can see different brush piles and basically probably weesach and a lot of different growth that's grown on these flats, and we're just gonna kind of go fishing. The lake has been restocked by the Texas Parks and Wildlife about 2 years ago roughly, so we really don't even know if there's a catchable, sustainable population in this lake yet, but it was a pretty day. Springtime was here, been doing some work on the boat and simply ready to go fishing. Well, literally the very first cast we've made on Medina Lake in no telling how long. Probably going to be one of the fish that was stocked in here recently. Not a big one, but that's pretty cool to see a lake that has gone through such turmoil, such drought, such negative publicity, and we're able to fire out there and catch that fish like that. I mean, I'd be happy to catch fish like that all day long. You know why I'd be happy to catch fish like that all day long? I know what's coming in a couple of years. How cool is that? There he is. Ah, he come off. Right on that bush, that wind-blown bush. That wind is really blowing, which makes it a great jerkbait day, in my opinion, where a guy can run windy points, run bushes, run things like that, and throw that jerkbait down there. And I'm throwing the Spro mixed stick. It gets down about 3 to 5 feet and suspends. You know, water temperature's 52, 54 degrees right now, and that's, to me, just perfect for a suspending jerkbait like this. That little guy right there, he's gonna grow up pretty quick. This lake ought to be pretty fertile, about as fertile as Medina probably could be. Then this fishery is gonna flourish and thrive again, and you'll see bass fishing tournaments, you'll see recreational anglers come back, and that's exciting for an area that not long ago was basically looking at bare rocks out here. As you look ahead on the mapping, you can see the color shades that I've got there. And I've got it set up red, 0 to 5, yellow, 5 to 10, and green is 10 to 15. But you can see all those contour lines that are up there in front of us. And basically, we've got a big, long, sloping point. It's more of a bluff, it looks like to me, as we get up there. And I can see vegetation coming out off of it. And if you really think about it from an obvious standpoint, look at the wind blowing right across it, blowing out of the south. This should be the warmest water that we're going to find over in this area, so it's almost even 55. So if I'm a bass and I'm active and I'm up feeding, I should be there according to the books and the TV guys and all that, but a lot of times the fish are smarter than me and they're somewhere else. Oh, there's 2 of them. Another one was trying to get it away from me. See him right there with him? He just took off. Come up here. I think the other one was bigger. I fooled the small one. Those little suspending jerkbaits. How fun is that? Let him go back. He's cold. So he felt a lot bigger than what should be in this pond. And a lot of times they'll just make a slash at this bait when you're jerking it like that, and that's what he did. We've accomplished kind of what I wanted to do. We were getting out here playing with the boat, checking on some new electronic setup, and I just wanted to see, you know, what Medina was looking like after all that drought. Boy, she's pretty right now. It's gonna be full of fish catching size bass pretty quick. I mean, if you're looking to have fun, it's already right there. So Medina Lake definitely has bounced back thanks to the efforts of a lot of people, primarily Parks and Wildlife, for stocking this, and then obviously the lake filling back up.
Hey, don't forget to visit us at AmericanaOutdoors.com for in-depth stories from the fields. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Americana Outdoors. Americana Outdoors is a Careco TV production.